Hi, I'm Chris Haigh and this is the Fiddle channel, and today we're going to look at a solo blues in G. This is an interesting exercise, what we're going to do today. It's playing a blues without any backing, and you might think, why would you want to do that? And there's two good reasons. One is if you want to actually play a blues on your own. Let's say the guitarist has just broken a string and you're in the middle of a gig and everyone's looking at you to do something. One really easy thing to do is to play a blues, because you don't have to prepare it except for the last 25 years of practice. But the thing about playing blues is that it really does depend on those the 12 bar chord sequence, and without that sequence how can you manage? Well, you can manage by putting in the chords as you're going along, and that's what this lesson is going to be about. The other thing is, if you are in a kind of a jam situation and you want to start a blues and lead it and do it in the key you want, then this is the way to do it. Not by starting off playing over a blues scale, which is no help to anyone, as I'll explain in a minute. If you can show the chords at the same time as you're playing, then it will be impressive and useful. And that's two good things to be. So, let me just first of all, and this won't sound very good, I'm going to play a 12 bar blues and I'm just going to improvise using the blues scale, and I'm going to not emphasize the chords, and you'll see what the problem is. So we'll do it in G, and the thing with the blues scale is that you don't really need to pay very much attention to the chords. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all the way through there, I had the chords clearly in my head, and I know that what I was playing would have sounded good over those chords, but you couldn't hear those chords, and it probably didn't sound great. It was just kind of amorphous. So what you really want to be able to do is to do that same solo, but put in the chords yourself. This is why piano is so good, because a pianist with his right hand can improvise and with his left hand he can put the chords in. Well, amazingly we can do that as well. So let's start off. The first version I'm going to play is just 2-note chords, and we're going to make this a blues where we go straight from the 1 into the 4 and then back to the 1 again, which is one of the common ways of playing a blues. So we've got this 1, 2, 3, 4. So then you could clearly hear what the chords were doing. You can hear the chord going from a G to a C7 to a G, and then driving from the G to the next C7. We put a G7 in by putting in that F natural, then the C chord, the G chord, and then the D chord, which is the 5, the 4 chord, the G chord, and then finishing off with the 5 again. So that is the route that we're going to work around, the skeleton. Now that had no rhythm and it had no improvisation, so let's add some fill-in phrases. So with the first half of each bar we'll emphasize the chords, and the second half will give us some movement and a bit of improvisation. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see we're getting somewhere near a solo, and it's starting to sound quite swingy. And incidentally, this kind of playing, it's not just within a blues context. This will work very nicely in bluegrass, or in country, or in western swing, or in rock even. These techniques will work really well. So here's a final version where we move a little bit further away from the chords and more towards the solo, but we're still very much making it clear what the chords are. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think you'll agree that sounds pretty good, and everyone knows exactly what is going on. And if you play that, and then the rest of the band who have not been alerted as to what's going to happen, they will know where you are, where they are, and they will hopefully join in. So I think you'll agree that this is a pretty useful thing to do, and when you compare it with the solo I did at the beginning, it's really quite cohesive. I'm going to play you out with doing the same thing, the third version, but in a different key. I will do several of these on my Patreon page, I think, in different keys. So I think it's a very useful exercise. If you join me on Patreon, then you can get a zip file with all of my PDFs. But if you want the PDF for this one, then you just just subscribe to the Fiddle channel and email me, and I'll send you a PDF. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. 1, 2, 3, 4.